Q3070. The final authority as to the operation of an aircraft is the A. Federal Aviation Administration. B. Pilot in Command. C. Aircraft Manufacturer. The correct answer is B. The pilot in command, PIC, is the individual who has the final authority and responsibility for the operation and safety of an aircraft during a flight. The PIC is in charge of making decisions regarding the operation of the aircraft, including compliance with regulations, navigation, weather conditions, and the safety of the passengers and crew on board. While the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, establishes regulations and standards for aviation safety, and the aircraft manufacturer provides guidance and limitations for the specific aircraft, it is ultimately the pilot in command who has the authority to make operational decisions based on their training, experience, and judgment. The pilot in command is responsible for ensuring that the flight is conducted in accordance with applicable regulations and procedures, and they have the authority to deviate from instructions or regulations if necessary for the safety of the flight. 3072. If an in-flight emergency requires immediate action, the pilot in command may A. Deviate from any rule of 14 CFR Part 91 to the extent required to meet the emergency, but must submit a written report to the administrator within 24 hours. B. Deviate from any rule of 14 CFR Part 91 to the extent required to meet that emergency. C. Not deviate from any rule of 14 CFR Part 91 unless prior to the deviation approval is granted by the administrator. The correct answer is B. In the event of an in-flight emergency that requires immediate action to ensure the safety of the flight, the pilot in command, PAC, has the authority to deviate from any rule of 14 CFR Part 91, Federal Aviation Regulations, to the extent necessary to address the emergency. This allows the PIC to take actions that may be necessary to protect the lives of those on board and the aircraft itself. It is important to note that the PIC should always prioritize safety and exercise good judgment when deviating from regulations. After the emergency situation has been handled, it is advisable to report the incident to the appropriate authorities or the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, for documentation and investigation purposes, but there is no requirement to submit a written report within 24 hours as mentioned in Option A. 3073. When must a pilot who deviates from a regulation during an emergency send a written report of that deviation to the administrator? A. Within 7 days. B. Within 10 days. C. Upon request. The correct answer is C. According to the Federal Aviation Regulations, 14 CFR Part 91, there is no specific requirement for a pilot to send a written report of a deviation to the administrator, FAA, following an emergency. However, the administrator has the authority to request such a report if deemed necessary. In the event of an emergency where a pilot deviates from regulations to ensure the safety of the flight, the focus should be on handling the emergency and taking appropriate actions to protect the lives of those on board. While it is not required to send a written report automatically, it is important to document the details of the emergency and any deviations made for future reference. 3074. Who is responsible for determining if an aircraft is in condition for safe flight? A. A certificated aircraft mechanic. B. The pilot in command. C. The owner or operator. The correct answer is B. The pilot in command, PIC, is ultimately responsible for determining if an aircraft is in a condition for safe flight. The PIC has the final authority and responsibility for the operation of the aircraft and ensuring the safety of the flight. This includes conducting pre-flight inspections, verifying the aircraft's airworthiness, and determining if any maintenance or repairs are necessary before flight. While a certificated aircraft mechanic plays a vital role in maintaining and repairing the aircraft, their responsibility is to ensure that the aircraft meets the required maintenance and inspection standards. The owner or operator of the aircraft also has responsibilities related to the overall maintenance and airworthiness of the aircraft, but the ultimate responsibility for determining if the aircraft is safe for flight lies with the pilot in command. 3071. Pre-takeoff briefing of passengers for a flight is the responsibility of A. All passengers. B. The pilot. C. A crew member. The correct answer is B. The pilot is responsible for conducting a pre-takeoff briefing of passengers before a flight. This briefing is an important safety measure to ensure that passengers are aware of and understand important information regarding the flight, such as seat belt usage, emergency exits, communication procedures, and any specific instructions or procedures that may be relevant to the flight. The purpose of the pre-takeoff briefing is to enhance safety and ensure that passengers are informed and prepared for the flight. It allows the pilot to communicate important safety information and address any questions or concerns that passengers may have. While passengers also have a responsibility to listen to and follow the pilot's instructions, the ultimate responsibility for conducting the pre-takeoff briefing lies with the pilot.